most of them are made in China. And most of them are made in our factory. Yeah, I'm telling you. But why these luxury brands never tell you that? Because they are trying to pretend to be products of some sophisticated European countries like Italy or France.
We are going to be successful. In a few weeks, the shop was open. We sell the most expensive products in a country where everybody was going by
A slowdown and a contraction in the global luxury market. About 50 million people either opted out or were forced out of the luxury market over the past 2 years.
I feel people started to get tired of purchasing products and realized that we just bought too much. And it didn't really make us.
Could it be that Chinese manufacturers pushed Bernard Arnault into early retirement? Because here's the tea. LVMH's shareholders had already agreed Bernard could remain CEO until he turned 85. Yes, 85. That man had a whole decade left to run luxury fashion however he pleased. But now, at just 76 years old, whispers are getting louder that Bernard might finally be hanging up those custom-tailored suits and calling it quits. And no, it's not just because he's feeling his age. This sudden shift comes right on the heels of tariffs, Chinese TikTok creators dragging luxury brands left and right, and receipts flying around that reveal the so-called French-made goods are actually rolling off production lines in China, then being resold at wild markups. We're talking 1,000% markups. Y'all, it started with Hermès, and now Louis Vuitton is next on the chopping block. This kind of exposé is the stuff that shakes an entire industry. So buckle up, because we're about to peel back the glitter and see what's really going on behind those iconic LV logos. Let's get into it. First off, the drama starts at the top. The Italian government has come for Dior, LVMH, and Armani, grabbing them by their designer lapels and putting them on blast. They've launched lawsuits accusing these brands of flat-out lying about where their products are made. And baby, it's not giving handmade by an old artisan in a romantic Italian village, not even close. Turns out, a lot of what they call made in Italy luxury is actually mass-produced in China. Then, to qualify for that fancy Italian label, they'll do the bare minimum in Italy, like adding a button or stitching on a strap. That's it. Just enough to legally slap on the Made in Italy tag. But the real bombshell? In June 2024, an Italian court officially named Dior SRL, that's Dior's Italian production company, in their findings. Under full court control. Why? Because prosecutors found out Dior was subcontracting their work to small Chinese-owned factories like Pelletteria, Elizabetha Yang SRL, and New Leather Italy SRLS and Y'all. The working conditions? Absolutely disgusting. Employees were pulling insane overtime shifts with no extra pay, no health protections, nothing. People were literally sleeping at their sewing machines just to keep up with demand. Meanwhile, Dior is out here charging folks $6,000 for a single handbag.
Steal less than 60 euros to make a handbag that it sells for nearly 3,000 euros. That's what Italian authorities found out when they raided factories making products for Dior and other fashion brands like...
But let's be clear, Dior is not alone in this. This is a dirty little secret that runs through the entire luxury industry. They sell you this fantasy of European craftsmanship, but behind the scenes, they're cutting corners at every turn just to boost profits. So the next time you're holding that $3,000 designer bag and feeling a little fancy, just remember you might actually be holding a piece of a massive, messy lie. And y'all, stay with me. It gets even worse when you hear how little these workers are getting paid. Seriously, you're going to want to throw hands after this. Right after those lawsuits started making headlines, Reuters came in swinging with some absolutely jaw-dropping revelations. No exaggeration, this stuff might make you want to toss your designer bag out the window straight into the trash, or at least hide it deep in your closet. Turns out LVMH, the group behind Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, and more, has been blatantly exploiting Chinese labor. And not just in China. We're talking hidden little workshops inside Italy. And wait for it, because the numbers are absolutely insane. $2,780 Dior bag was exposed as being made for, just get ready, $57. Meanwhile, people are out here breaking their necks to spend nearly $3,000 on these bags. But according to inside sources, these luxury items weren't just made under shady conditions, they were made by workers who didn't even have legal papers to work in Italy. These workers were literally living inside the factories, sleeping right next to the machines they worked on for 15, 16, even 18 hours a day. No real breaks, no proper homes, no basic rights. Just non-stop labor so these brands could keep pushing their luxury fantasy to the world. And the audacity? LVMH is still out here posting up at fashion shows, sipping champagne, acting like they're the definition of elegance and success. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, they're running one of the biggest scams in luxury fashion. So the next time you see someone flexing a Dior saddlebag on Instagram, just remember it might have cost them $2,780, but Dior likely spent less than the price of a dinner date to produce it. And if you thought the $57 Dior bag scandal was outrageous, just wait. It gets worse. You know that $1,500 Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag that's everywhere on TikTok and Instagram? The one everyone's scrambling to get their hands on? Well, guess how much it actually cost them to make? $50.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, this isn't just some rumor floating around. Insiders and investigators have been sounding the alarm on this markup for years. They've revealed that Louis Vuitton's markup is over 1,000%, meaning they can make a bag for next to nothing, then turn around and sell it at luxury prices like it was handcrafted from unicorn tears or sprinkled with fairy dust. But wait, there's more. A former luxury manufacturing insider came forward with some serious tea. Turns out, a lot of these so-called high-end materials aren't even real luxury quality anymore. We're talking about bags that aren't always made with top-tier leather, despite the massive price tags. The materials being used are often nowhere near the standard you'd expect from a brand claiming to sell the finest craftsmanship in the world.
A little over 1 square foot of vaqueta leather came out. 2 different finishes. The best vaqueta leathers in the market is $7, $8. At their level, let's give them $10. And you need 2 square foot. So $20 for the leather, $5 for the materials, inner linings, fabrics, authentication, chip, and $10 for the label.
And about that romantic image of some sweet Italian grandpa hand-stitching bags under the Tuscan sun, throw it away. It's pure fantasy total garbage. Because in reality, most of these bags are either made in China or by underpaid Chinese workers hidden away in dusty workshops across Europe. Not the glamorous, artisanal dream the ads want you to believe. So let's keep it real for a second, just a millisecond. That $1,500 Neverfull bag, it probably cost less than your monthly phone bill to produce. And chances are, it was stitched together by an overworked, underpaid worker living in rough conditions. Then, Louis Vuitton slapped a 1,000% markup on it, because they know you'll pay for the clout. And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, TikTok turned it into an all-out war. Chinese creators basically said, "We're tired of the lies," and started dragging luxury brands through the mud for the world to see. One name you need to know? Wang Sen. He didn't just talk slick, this man dropped full-blown exposés, walking viewers through actual factories and showing real workers sewing bags that looked a whole lot like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Gucci. And y'all, the resemblance was not a coincidence.
You recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. For this, I am not proud, because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bag are very